Hi, I'm Tristan, and welcome to the EdTech Teacher Podcast. In this podcast series, I plan to share with you my love of technology and hope that I can inspire you to try something with technology in your classroom today. Let's get started. Hello, everybody, and wow, I can't believe that we are at episode 10 of Season 1, the finale of Season 1 of the EdTech Teacher Podcast. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Tristan, and this is the EdTech Teacher Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to reflect on Season 1 of our little podcast and have a look at what we've examined and explored this season. Alright, before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody that has taken the time to listen to this amateur podcast. I don't have fancy equipment. I don't have an editor. I do everything with this podcast myself. Sometimes it takes me several takes to get it perfectly right. Sometimes some of my segments need a little bit of work. But hey, I'm having a go and I'm doing exactly what we ask of our students. So I record my podcast episodes using an app called Anchor, which was suggested by the fabulous Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. It is a fantastic app. It is free, and it's what I use to create this podcast. And I am so grateful that you are still listening and you have continued on this journey with me as I have taken the initiative to launch my own podcast for the EdTech Teacher. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me and making it through 10 episodes of Season 1. I am eternally grateful for all of your support, for everybody all around the world that has been part of this journey with me. Just before we get into today's episode, reflecting on our past 9 episodes of Season 1 of the EdTech Teacher Podcast, I just thought I'd give you a little heads up about the Anchor app that I use to create these podcasts. So if you head to anchor.fm or you download the Anchor app, you'll be able to create your own podcast. It's free, it's easy, and it's really fun to see what you can do with this particular app. It's a great resource. You could definitely use it in the classroom, and it will definitely be a focus of an episode in Season 2 of the EdTech Teacher Podcast, which will be coming up very soon this year. So stay tuned to find out more about Anchor and see how you could use the Anchor app in your classroom to create your own podcasts. So when I sat down to plan this episode, I was absolutely amazed just how much we have covered in the past 9 episodes of the EdTech Teacher Podcast. There have been moments on this journey since I began it in early 2020 where I have doubted myself, where I haven't felt like I've been able to do something. But then I've realized that it takes time to build an audience, to create a brand, and this is just the start of that journey. But this season, we've done so much in 9 episodes. I've gone through and I have discussed several of my 6 awesome features of series for Microsoft PowerPoint, for OneNote, for Microsoft Forms, for Microsoft Word. These series, the 6 awesome features of series that I created, was to highlight just some of the incredible features of these applications that you might not be aware of. They're fantastic resources to use in the classroom, and that's what I was hoping to highlight with my 6 awesome features of series. I will be creating more of these 6 awesome features of series to highlight more amazing features of these Microsoft products, so stay tuned for those coming out very soon. There'll be more infographics on the website, and there'll be more episodes of the EdTech Teacher Podcast looking at some of those other amazing features of those Microsoft products. So in addition to the 6 awesome features of series, this season of the EdTech Teacher Podcast, I also looked at teacher certifications with you. Teacher certifications are an amazing professional development opportunity, which I encourage everybody to undertake. They're often free, and they provide you with a wealth of knowledge about a wealth of products that you can use in your classrooms. At the time of this recording, I have been so privileged to become certified in a whole range of applications. I am a Google Certified Educator Level 1. I am going to be working on obtaining my Level 2 very soon. I am a Flipgrid Certified Educator Level 1. I am Screencastify Certified. I have my Level 1 and 2 Edpuzzle certifications. I am a book creator certified author Level 1. I'm an Adobe Creative Educator Level 1. There are so many. You can see that I can't even get them out properly because there's so many, and there's such an awesome professional learning opportunity, and I was so grateful to go in and try those. I've recently been able to gain my Nearpod certification, which has also been fantastic. So I really encourage you to go out into the interwebs and see what teacher certification programs there are out there for different applications and resources that you use. Find something that interests you, have a look at how you can use that technology in your classroom, and see what you can do to obtain that teacher certification. It's going to help you grow, you can share it with other people, and it's just an awesome way to see what else you can do with a whole range of resources when it comes to technology in your classroom to enhance the learning outcomes of your young people. Wow, season 1 really has been mammoth. I didn't think when I started this podcast that I would be so enthusiastic and excited and keen to share my love of technology with you. But hey, here we are at episode 10, and I'm still really excited and keen to continue to share my knowledge with you so that I can help you integrate and implement technology into your classrooms. So in addition to our 6 awesome features of episodes, our episodes exploring teacher certifications, we also looked at the significance of shortening URL addresses using Bitly and TinyURL. I went through and explained a whole range of keyboard shortcuts which you can use to save you time. We looked at YouTube live streaming and some of the great things that you can do with YouTube live streaming. And we also looked at one of my favorite resources, which is called Bingo Card Creator. So if you haven't had a listen to the past 9 episodes, make sure that you get on and you listen to them today. You can pretty much listen to our episodes, the past 9 episodes, on a whole range of podcasting platforms. You can get them on Anchor, which is the app that I use to create this particular podcast. You can get it on Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Spotify. So there's a whole range of platforms that you can use to access the previous 9 episodes of season 1 and go back and re-listen to them and see what you might be able to learn or pick up to help you implement new technology into your classroom. So go and have a listen if you haven't listened to any of those episodes today and see what you might learn. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 10 of season 1 of the EdTech Teacher podcast. Once again, thank you very much for joining me. I am so privileged that you have come on this journey with me. Now, if you're wondering about season 2, well, guess what? You don't have to wait very long to listen to season 2. Season 2 is starting next week. That's right, we are moving straight into season 2. Normally, we plan to align our seasons to about 10 episodes a season, and they will be aligned to the Australian school terms, which are normally about 10 weeks in length. But we started a little bit late this term. It's term 3 here in Australia. I'm blaming coronavirus for mixing up the world and making us go a little bit potty at the moment. But season 2 will start straight after this season, and it'll start next week. So join us again next week for season 2 of the EdTech Teacher podcast, which is great because you don't have to wait too long to find out some more really great tips and tricks for using technology in your classroom. Anyway, once again, thank you very much for listening to season 1 of this podcast series. I am eternally grateful. This is the EdTech Teacher podcast. I am Tristan. I hope that you'll come back and join us for season 2 next week. And until then, please stay safe. The world is a little bit crazy at the moment. Look after yourselves. Make sure that you sanitize, you physically distance, and you look after yourself. And I will see you again next time on the EdTech Teacher Podcast. Thanks for listening to the EdTech Teacher Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or visit our website www.theedtechteacher.net.